Back with week 2 of our league here. So, if you remember, week 1, the Chicago Flyers lost to the Cincinnati Steamboats. I will change that after this episode. The Birmingham Magic beat the Boise Diamonds. The Portland Wagoneers beat the Boston Revolution. The Minnesota Moose beat the Philadelphia Liberty. The Charlotte Kings beat the San Diego Wave. The New Orleans Hurricanes lost to the San Diego Rodeo. The Houston Rodeo, I meant. The New York Sky beat the Orlando Rollers. The Phoenix Heat beat the Detroit Speed. So now this week we have our matchups being the Boise Diamonds and the Chicago Flyers. Remember, the 4 teams I just posted about are not in this league yet. So, the Boston Revolution and the Cincinnati Steamers, the Philadelphia Liberty and Birmingham Magic, the San Diego Wave and the Portland Wagoneers, which seems like that would be a pretty good matchup. Maybe even a game of the week matchup there. The Houston Rodeo and the Minnesota Moose. Orange Animals Unite. The Orlando Rollers and the Charlotte Kings, the Sweet Summer South. I think. I do not know if that will be the title for that game. The Detroit Speed and the New Orleans Hurricanes. And the Phoenix Heat and the New York Sky. So now simulation will be under effect. You will not see the games. No, neither will I. You will see all the matches that do not have a result. So now time to rapid fire off these random scores. Okay, so we have rapid fired off our random scores now. So now looking at the games of a specific round, go to round 2, and we'll see. The Boise Diamonds beat the Chicago Flyers. Wait, no, backwards. The Boise Diamonds lost to the Chicago Flyers 17-20. The Boston Revolution beat the Cincinnati Steamers 25-24. The Philadelphia Liberty beat the Birmingham Magic 40-15. The San Diego Wave beat the Portland Wagoneers 25-18. The Houston Rodeo and the Minnesota Moose. The Houston Rodeo won that game 26-23. The Orlando Rollers and the Charlotte Kings. The Charlotte Kings won 28-17. And the Detroit Speed beat the New Orleans Hurricanes 29-26. And finally, the Phoenix Heat beat the New York Sky. So now going to our standings. In first place with an undefeated record is the San Diego Wave and the Phoenix Heat, Houston Rodeo, Philadelphia Liberty, Charlotte Kings, New York Sky, Portland Wagoneers, Chicago Flyers, Minnesota Moose, Cincinnati Steamers, Detroit Speed, Boston Revolution, Birmingham Magic, New Orleans Hurricanes, Boise Diamonds, and Orlando Rollers. So week 2 is now done. The playoff picture, which we do that every week, we have in the Western Finals, it's the San Diego Wave and the Phoenix Heat, the Houston Rodeo and the Philadelphia Liberty, which is not a matchup. The Philadelphia Liberty win the Midwest. The Houston Rodeo. Wait, no, I meant the Philadelphia Liberty win the East. The Houston Rodeo win the Central. The Charlotte Kings are the wildcard team of the East, just beating out the New York Sky to be the first team out. The Portland Wagoneers are first team out. In the Western Conference, the Chicago Flyers, at an 8 seed, by the way, this is the 8th ranked team out of 16, gets first place in the Midwest. The Minnesota Moose follow right behind them, with the Cincinnati Steamers being right behind the both of them, getting the first spot out there. And the Detroit Speed following right behind So, all things said, the Midwest is kind of crappy. And then also we have our final team from the South, or the Central. The final team for the South is the Birmingham Magic, and other than that, we have our teams with the New Orleans Hurricanes and Orlando Rollers getting eliminated. Now, with that, we have the finals that are not guaranteed because this could change. The last placed Orlando Rollers could end up taking first and winning the whole thing. You never know, because especially with this being week 2, there are a lot of teams that could be 1-1. So, yeah. They're 2-0, 1-1. So there are only 3 2-0 teams. There are like 9 teams with 1 loss. So that means that every team who is in the playoffs has at least 1 loss. But next week in this series, we'll see who is really has a shot at going to the championship and who doesn't. With these teams having all equal chance, even the 0-2 teams could go undefeated and be like 14-2 going into the playoffs. It could be 14-2 not making the playoffs, but anything could happen in this league. Now, other than that, I have nothing for this week, so deuces.